Welcome to Rugby Heads, powered by the Pig Athletic Club, your ultimate destination for all things rugby. Join us as we dive into the highlights of the past week, break down the biggest moments and spotlight the players who made it all happen. Whether you're a diehard fan like us or new to the game, Rugby Heads has got you covered. So let's scrum down and engage in some good old-fashioned rugby chat. My name is Sione, and joining me is current Northern Suburbs Club captain Alex Ironside and 2018 Queensland Premier Rugby World Champ Alfonso Horomia. Welcome, ladies and tennies.
Kia ora.
Yeah, welcome, boys. Nice choice of uniform we got on today. Wallabies and Waikato Chiefs tee. What's doing, lads?
Just thought we'd put on the two biggest losers that we could think of currently, the Chiefs and the Wallabies. So I think that's what we were going for, wasn't it, Fonz?
Yeah, pretty much. Although I do like this cap you gave me about a year ago. Beautiful.
Another loser team that can't win a grand final, but anyway, we won't go into that.
All right, quick little rundown on today's show. We've got our top performers of the week, and then we get ahead into around the grounds as we touch on the big games over the two big games over the weekend, and then we drive our eye over the All Blacks and Wallabies team selections for the July test window, and then we've got our Rugby Head thought of the week, and finish off with our tips for this weekend. All right, boys, let's go our top performers of the week.
Our top performer this week was out of the New Zealand Māoris versus Japan 15 game, and that was Josh Morby on the wing. I thought he was he played well on the weekend against Japan. Geez, that Japanese team's quick, very quick side. Man, it was good to watch some international footy. That was the only game on the weekend I saw from a professional point of view. Yeah,
he was good. A lot of those boys were good, actually. They did well, especially with they got a few cards during the game, but got the job done against a decent Japanese team. The scoreboard got a bit away from the Japanese, but we'll get into that later as we look into what Uncle Eddie's been up to. Ironside, who's your top performer?
Look, I think this is a pretty easy one. Not many games over the weekend, but mate, our good friend Dupont playing for Toulouse in that final, mate. He is too loose for Toulouse, and I tell you what, fuck, he's good to watch. I don't think we'll ever see a 9.
Yeah.
You know, you start getting into this bit of chat, but I don't think we'll ever see a 9 like him. Like, he might not be the GOAT, whatever, doesn't matter, but he's just on another planet, and he's this tiny little, stocky little bloke, and he just kills it. I love watching him play. Yeah,
I'm glad that you pulled up there, because we also get into that later, chat about Dupont and his, another incredible game for Dupont, another championship. My player from the weekend was Peter Aki. He's the midfielder for Toulouse. Mate, great story, crazy story, unwanted by the Super Rugby clubs over in New Zealand, and came over to France, and then was Ireland actually, Connacht, and then made his way into France, and was struggling to keep his position over in Toulouse, and I believe he was on the practice squad, and then got his chance through injury, and then look at him now. Mate, he had an outstanding game. I think he had 2 decent line breaks against UBB, and got the job done against Dave's UBB. But yes, let's go around the grounds. But starting when I was watching the game yesterday, and Kurtley Bill came onto the field in the second half as he turned out for Randwick, which was surprising. I didn't think most of the Wallaby squad members were going back to clubland, but Kurtley Bill came on, and it was a short little cameo. It must have been off the ball, because I was rewinding back, because after he got assisted from the field, and turns out he has suspected torn his Achilles. What are your guys' thoughts on who you think that they will call in? Unfortunate for Kurtley, and hopefully it isn't a torn Achilles. It hasn't been confirmed, but who do you think is going to come into that Wallaby squad?
I reckon Jock Campbell would be one to go in, especially if he's going to cover that fullback position. But it's quite interesting that, it's good to see them play club rugby, but I mean, there was an article coming out about Lalakai Feketi. People weren't happy that he wasn't allowed to play club rugby and he had to train with the Wallabies squad. But then you see the opposite side of it, where Kurtley Beale gets injured. So you know, it's a hard one. It's good to see those boys go back and play for their clubs. Obviously, him playing for Randwick, but geez, it's upsetting to see Kurtley Beale come back, because he's not getting any younger. He's 35, I'd assume, and yeah, it's real sad to see.
I think that people are probably reading into it a bit much. I don't reckon they wouldn't have released him to play if he was going to be in the 23 to play the next game against Wales. So he obviously wasn't playing that game. He's obviously not played a lot of rugby the last 12 months, so he probably did need to play. So, I mean, I think for Keddy not being able to play, and that maybe be a factor. He's played pretty much all the season, barring the injury at the start of the year. But, yeah, I think Jock Campbell's a good shout. I think that it just goes to show you that these fucking... I hate playing at East. East is the AstroTurf field. Like, mate, they're talking about in the NFL, all these injuries in NFL and these fucking AstroTurf fields. I think East should be held accountable and should have to pay every other club in the Shoot Shield some money, and Randwick should be kicked out of the comp. That's just my... At the end of the day, that's what should happen as well. But in all seriousness, I was looking forward to seeing Kurtley in a Wallabies jersey, and I don't think... look, an Achilles is fucking probably one of the worst things you can do. So best of luck to Kurtley in his recovery anyway.
You pretty much nailed it on the head. A couple of points I had down, AstroTurf and both mentioned Jock Campbell. I had his name down as well. So, mate, he had a great season for the Reds, back to where he was not last year, but the year before. So, yeah, and pretty much half of his... the Reds team is already in the squad, so he wouldn't be out of place. Okay, we'll move to the New Zealand Maori versus the Japan 15 team. Thoughts on the game, firstly, and then Eddie Jones's 0-2 start as Supreme Leader of Japan Rugby 2.0.
I'll tell you what, how good is it? Like, it must be awesome for teams to go to Japan and play. Like, they put on a full... festival and whatnot. I don't know if you've seen the videos of them when they got in just a couple of days before the game. I mean, that team got put together quite late because of the Super Rugby finals. So, man, it was awesome from the videos I saw. But you can see Japan, I don't know if you guys watched the game against England. They try to play a lot of fast rugby. Obviously, they're not big like the other teams, so they're trying to play quick rugby, and then obviously, they're just getting caught through the physicality side of things. But it's, I don't know if you also saw in the Japanese coaching box, you had Eddie Jones, Victor Matfield, David Kidwell, and you also had Dan Bowden. He was the Blues player back in the day. It looks like a bloody NATO meeting convention going on in there. That's what it looks like. But, 0-2 is not a good start. Obviously, people got strong feelings about Eddie in Australia. But it was a good game, but it did run away from the Japanese.
I mean, the start of the game for the Japanese, they were probably the better team for the first 20 minutes. They're obviously young side. They made some fucking stupid decisions. Just kept going for the line out when they had a strong scrum. But, I mean, just good to see the Maori All Blacks back. It's been a long time. Like, they haven't played for ages, and they've finally got a squad together, and it's a fucking pretty handy team full of a lot of like guys that like were pretty good in the Super Rugby season. But yeah, as you say, on Fonz, like, just good to see. It wasn't the Japanese team, it was the Japanese 15. Yeah. But they had a guy out there. I forgot his name, and even if I remember his name, I wouldn't want to butcher it. But he was playing rugby for a university a couple of weeks ago. He's not played any professional rugby, and Eddie Jones just picked him up. Pretty much Eddie Jones style, I guess. He can pick something like that. I'm not going to say anything about Eddie. I don't want to waste my breath, but that in itself is a cool story. And they had some really good players, the Japanese, and it was good to see a lot of Japanese-born players in that starting 15. Like they've obviously done a good job of developing their own kind of local grown talent. Not to take away from any of the guys that are expats, but it's good to see a lot of Japanese locals playing.
I don't know, that guy that came straight from university and then into, he actually played against England because that's when they brought it up. And I was like, oh, Eddie's doing another Giddo. But this guy's actually like Giddo. Oh, not as good as Giddo, obviously, straight away, but he's actually one of their better players against the Māori All Blacks team. So you can't, put it on Eddie on that one because I think he got that selection right. And I was a bit of head scratching why Jack Cornelison didn't play against England, and he turned out for the Barbars against Fiji the week before. He's obviously one of their older heads, but it looks like Eddie is putting his trust into the local talent and the next generation. But I still think Jack Cornelison has another World Cup in him and can go. So I don't know what the thing was there, but we'll see how Eddie goes. Then the only thing we touched on it earlier before we started recording. The only thing that I didn't like was the commentary, and especially at the start, it was clear that the commentators, I think they were English commentators, had no idea what was going on with the jersey presentation because not one mention of Connor Garden-Bachop was throughout the whole ceremony and the haka, which is a massive moment, and it was a touching moment for the players, and also would have been for all his friends and family back home. So that was my only push, was the commentary, who had no idea, it was out of touch. Would have been good. I'm pretty sure the New Zealanders, the people in New Zealand, had an option on Sky for the Māori commentary, but it would have been nice for us to have that same option as well.
It wasn't that they also missed that moment. It was the Major League Rugby commentary of and so in rugby, telling me how fucking ruck works. I'm like, mate, no one watching this wants to know how ruck works. We're not, you know what I mean? It was just and then so in rugby stuff, and I hate English cunts talking about rugby. So, it's a fucking mixture of that. But that did piss me off as well.
Hey, Sione, I'll tell you what, it kind of sounded like it's a bit of the Bangkok 10s commentary, mate, when no one knows no names, and then just calling them out by numbers, and they're getting people mixed up left, right, centre.
Do better. Give us a call, mate. I'll pretend. I'll make up some Māori words, mate. Make it more cultural, mate.
Oh, the Wahinis will love that try there, eh? That would have been me.
Whoa. All right, let's skip over to France and Marseille. They had the Toulouse went back-to-back as French rugby world champs. If you boys caught the game, what were your thoughts on the game, and how close is Dupont away from being the GOAT, of all time in rugby? And if not, what does he have to do to get that title?
Good work at getting the clickbait headline for our podcast, which is nice. We spoke about last time, we spoke about it again, but GOAT, maybe GOAT 9 of all time. I don't know, you can compare all the positions, but he's just unreal. He's on another planet. I did watch it, I did catch it. It was French rugby is just so good to watch compared to the rest of Europe. They killed it, but just to carry on after the game, we were talking about it. The plate that they win obviously looks like a gong, and them all diving in the changing rooms, headbutting the gong, is some fucking. That's this is why we play rugby kind of shit moment. It's fuck, it's just getting loose with the boys once you've won a premiership is one of the greats, and I wish it's the benchmark that we will never reach. I don't think down here, but it's just fucking French rugby's they're nuts. I love the French.
Yeah.
Mate, how good's that atmosphere there? I saw a glimpse of the game. It was one-way traffic, wasn't it? Toulouse. I'd love to see Toulouse play the Blues. How good would that be? A one-off game against them too. I would say French top 14 is the best competition in the world. Obviously they got the most money, and look at the players that they have in the obviously over in France. Dupont, man. Again, I know you saw that chip and chase.
I think Dupont, not the GOAT yet, because a lot of people say that he needs to win a World Cup to be the GOAT. I think Jonah's the GOAT. He hasn't won a World Cup, but I think Dupont's slowly slowly getting there. If he wins the gold in the Olympics, he's the GOAT to me. He's already up there, just behind Jonah for me now. Yeah, you just can't deny what he's been doing, and he's just his impact on every team that he joins in. So yeah, he's there or thereabouts for me now, and mate, he's probably only halfway through his career now, so he'll definitely get there. The July test window, we are upon the July test window, and the All Blacks have chosen their squad. A lot of controversy over the Tasman there. Thoughts on the squad, and who were you unlucky to miss out on the squad picks?
Well, I mean,
I'll be very interested to hear what Fonz has to say about the man. About the obvious.
Yeah, unload now, mate.
Yeah, unload.
well, obviously, there's a lot of good names. Obviously, the big one was Hoskins Sotutu. I felt sorry for him. Have you ever been picked at, gone to, trying to get into a team, and then you don't get into a team and you just feel real, crap inside? I just when I see him didn't get picked. But then you got to look at the squad, and you got to look why he didn't get picked. Yeah. And to me, they're picking Ardie Savea to play number 8, which only leaves one number 8 spot, which is Wallace Atiti. That's why I think he hasn't been picked. I mean, Lakai, you'll say these are other shouts, great shouts. Harry Plummer, I thought he had a great final and a season. He's another one I thought maybe. But obviously they got a short squad. Riccartelli was the other one, the hooker. I thought he had a great final as well. I thought he was finally going to get a debut, but obviously he's missed out. But you can see what they're trying to pick is, they picked 2 big props that are over 140 kilos in Tossie and Williams. And you can see what they're trying to do is match up physicality. I think that's why Ethan Blackhead is there as well, because he's another guy of size, and but overall that team's real sound. I can't wait to see what Razor would want to do with that side. 3 locks, bit short there, so you have to see that as well.
Yeah. Alan, what are your thoughts before we dive in more into Hoskins?
I like initially, because Blues probably my over the ditch team, and they were all year, and I predicted they were going to win. I don't know if I brought that up yet this podcast, but yeah, look, I picked them to win. Hoskin had a great season, and I thought he was unreal, but I don't think I would pick him over what they've picked there. I mean, like, I would have gone Wallace Atiti as well, and Ardie and Dalton, I don't know if he really fit into that team. I think it would have been nice for him to be in the squad, but I don't think he would have played. I couldn't have seen him even getting picked on the bench. So disappointing, because he did have a really, really good season, but you can kind of see, what Fon said. You can see what they're trying to do there, and I mean, I think they just got a bit more of a physical back row than he is.
Yeah, I totally disagree. I know what Razor's points is be brought out. You got to have a balanced sort of gameplay. You got to be good on both sides of the ball. Obviously, in attack, he is gangbusters. His attack is way better than his defense. But there's a little bit like me at number 8, I reckon. Not many people run at him, so he's not. He doesn't get the high numbers in tackles, and which some games he does. But I think because he's out and out the best player. He's just a different sort of. You're not always going to be a balanced rugby player. You got to be. Some players are going to be amazing and out amazing attackers, which he is. And it's like similar to Jonah. Jonah wasn't obviously he was a winger. He was out and out attacking player, but if you don't choose him because he's not balanced, then Jonah wouldn't have been the player that he was. He wouldn't be that GOAT that everyone sees him. And the same thing with Hoskins. It's like, I know what the Razor's trying to do. I know he's got 8 championships at Canterbury, and I know in Razor we trust, but mate, you got to skew your game plan. You got to do something to your game plan. If you can't find a spot on your squad for the best player in Super Rugby, the best number 8 in Super Rugby, I know you want to play a different type of game, but surely he's good enough coach to change his game plan to put this guy in the team. I would have gotten rid of anyone someone, an outside back or someone, just to have him in the squad and give him a shot during the campaign to see if he actually is the best number 8 in the world, because you can't give him that tag or give him that opportunity if he's not even there. Like, the even fringe picks that weren't announced in the squad, injury cover, like Guy, and then you've got Sam Kane that are training with him as well.
Yeah.
So then you see Hoskins isn't even close to being part of that squad, which I think is disrespectful, and I think that's the reason why Hoskins he needs to leave. I know he just signed a 2-year extension with the Blues, but I think he needs to go and go somewhere where he's actually appreciated, because, it's not looking good, bruv. And that's just what I think on the matter. I know Razor knows what he's doing, but respect game. You got to respect the game.
Let me ask you this question though: they're playing. He's been the best number 8 playing against Australian, New Zealand, and Pacifica and Fijian sides. Like, you need to be able to defend when you play against Northern Hemisphere teams, and they're playing against England. Like,
I reckon he can defend him. I don't remember anyone bumping him off. I don't remember. It's just no one's running at it, mate.
Yeah.
They're scared of him, so they're running it at the weaker players. So you're seeing a lot of these weaker players. I'm not saying that they got a lot of tackles because people want to target him, but no one's going to be running at Hoskins. He's a tall ninja. I was going to say another bad word, but he's a tall ninja, and mate, you're not running at Hoskins if you're going to run at anyone else in the team. And, mate, I just think he needs the opportunity. He deserves the opportunity. He was also leading in the numbers, like meters gained, post-contact for number 8s last year, which don't check the stats on that. I might have overheard with commentaries talking about it. I didn't actually look at the stats myself. But, he wasn't even close to that. He didn't even make the New Zealand 15 squad last year. And then now he's not even close to being a part of the All Blacks if he's not even part of the injury cover. So had to let that out. Had to let a bit of steam out, because I know a lot of the uncles over in New Zealand, and I think he needs to be wearing that Fijian jersey, or even I think he qualifies for England or Ireland. So I'd probably choose any one of them if you want to go for action, win a World Cup, and push the All Blacks. Like you said, most hated. And, villain arc has come. The villain arc. 2 years in a row, Hoskins villain arc for Ireland or England, whichever one is better when he's available to play.
We'll take him.
Oh, mate, yeah. That All Black squad. On that note, that All Black squad, if I was Joe Schmidt, all the unlucky 15 that didn't make the All Black squad, I'd be calling each and every one of them and just saying, is there any hope that you've got a bit of, your great-grandmother or your grandmother's got a bit of Australian and make you qualify? Because that squad is crazy. Well, the Wallabies also selected their squad. So who do you think was unlucky to make the Wallabies squad?
I would have liked, I think he came good towards the back end of the year, but in saying that, I don't think that's the path we're going down anymore. I would have liked to see maybe Gamble get a go. I feel like he was pretty unlucky the last time we went on the World Cup, but that was a different kind of story. Another little one out of left field, and this is really going to hurt me to say this because he's a Gordon boy, but I actually thought, these are Waratahs. I actually thought Joe Walton actually had a pretty decent year coming out of. Probably wasn't going to start that position, then play that whole rest of the back end of the season and look pretty good. Look, no, I don't think that is. I mean, they're just kind of left field ones, but I don't think it was that like crazy of a Wallabies squad that there was that many people to me that missed out. I was actually really happy to see that they did pick KURTLEY, because I thought that'd be nice to have a bit of experience, which is something we definitely lacked last kind of for the World Cup. So nothing too crazy for me. Few seeing Charlie Cahill in there was like, I knew he was going to be in there, but that made me really excited because I feel like he's the future of that Australian back row. I mean, I'm just worried. The only thing that worries me is that we have no front rowers. If people go down the front row, we are pretty cooked, I think.
Did you have anyone unlucky to miss out on the Wallabies?
I thought maybe Lonergan, Ryan Lonergan. Smith did point out why he obviously he doesn't have experienced 10s from what I gathered, what he was saying. So obviously, why he didn't get picked. I also thought the lock from the Rebels, the Josh Canham. Yeah, I really like him. I think he's a good player. But man, how good's listening to Joe Schmidt? You know, he's a very level-headed guy, isn't he? It sounds like he knows what he's doing too, and how they want to play. You know, so I mean, those are two guys I thought they were, you know, a bit unlucky. There's a few other guys, but I think I agree with Ironside. The front row is a bit of a concern for the Wallabies. There's a bit of I know there's a few injuries, especially at the TARS this year. You could say the same thing about the All Black locks. There isn't too much stock in that as well. Those are, you know, two of the areas where I think they're a little bit short.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine with if touch wood, the boys don't get injured in the front row. Especially we've got Mike Cron in the coaching squad. As soon as they announced it, my head went back to when I first switched from back row into the front row when I got the tap on the shoulder, saying I'm too fat. And my coaches at UQ weren't really, my forward coach at UQ didn't really help me with scrummaging. After my first session, I was fucked. I was like, mate, I'm not made for this, because it's a lot harder than you think when you go into the front row. And then I went onto YouTube. And because I got that contract in Portugal and had to learn how to play tight head, because I've been playing loose head my first year at prop. And Mike Ron, he was the one on YouTube. He had a lot of videos just teaching technique on how to scrummage. And I don't know. I don't think Wallabies players will be on YouTube Googling how to scrum. But I think Mike Ron's the man to help the boys and help the fringe players that are in the squad as well, to get them up to speed. But the contrast from the Wallabies and the All Black squad is massive. My players that I thought were unlucky to miss out was Darcy Swain. I thought he's been massive for the Brumbies, and also Fonz mentioned it, Josh Canham. I thought he would have been one of the first locks picked. But I see where Schmidt would have chosen these guys that got chosen. These boys that the back row and the second row, they do all the shit as well. And the error rate is way lower than like Darcy Swain and Canham. I thought because they're always taking rucks up, they're always making good runs and stuff like that, but you don't see the other stats, which I think Joe Schmidt is going on, because I know Josh Canham had a lot of errors in his game, but he also had some decent line breaks. So I think he's going for less errors over meter eater. So in Schmidt we trust. I'll put it all in Schmidt.
And it's just so refreshing, as Fon said, so refreshing to just hear a coach be honest for fucking once to us. Hey mate, look, I'm not very prepared. That fills me with that actually fills me with more confidence that he's being honest. Like, you know, this is a 2-year contract, I guess, but you know, he's getting us to a Lions tour. But just a bit of honesty, and I hope that as Australians we've learnt from how he treated our last coach, because I actually think that we didn't give Robbie Deans the chance he deserved, and that was purely because he was Kiwi. Why not get coached by the second best rugby nation in the world, you know? So,
and the other Kiwi that we got rid of just for Eddie Jones as well. So it's every Kiwi coach we've had, they were doing well, and we just get rid of
including Dave Rennie.
So I've been trying to kick a Kiwi out of this country since he's fucking was my dad, and he's still here. They don't leave, mate. They dig in.
All right. Thought of the week. This is where we come bring out ideas or something we've been thinking about that help make rugby great again. You boys have anything on your mind that could help game get a little bit better in especially this side of the world, or any thoughts?
I still think the TMO gets involved in too much, and you'll see it a lot in international rugby. Super Rugby wasn't as bad, but you'll see a lot. I don't know if you guys watched the under-20s last night. Man, the TMO is jumping in on a lot of things. I guess, obviously they're just trying to play a safety, all that, blah, blah, blah. But mate, it just stops. The game stopped flowing. You know what I mean? It's so hard to watch. It's hard enough as it is, and you know we're stopping all the time and half the time they don't get it right anyway. So it's frustrating on a spectator point of view when you're watching a game and it's just overcomplicated.
Yeah, I love the parts when the TMO bounces in and goes, "Oh, I'll take you to this," and it was like a play 10 minutes ago, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I think contact it," and then the ref goes, "Oh, I think that's just play on for me," rah, rah, rah. And then, "Do you agree?" And then the TMO is like, "I just fucking pulled you up to stop the whole game," but and then, yeah, I agree. But really, deep down, you can hear, "Fuck, I just pulled it up, mate. Just fucking penalise it."
Sometimes you hear the TMO talk the ref into something, and I don't think the ref made his decision. And then he's been talked into it, and then he's like, "Okay, then I agree." What you just said, Sonny. I'm just like, mate, you got a decision, just make it. Don't get talked into anything,
mate. I'd rather iRobots or AI than fucking refs. They're just fucking pits of the earth, mate. I fucking hate them. Which actually leads nicely into my what do I think we need to make rugby great again? Playing club rugby at the moment, watching the QPR and the shoot shield. Everyone knows the tackle height's below the fucking nipples, and it's just fucked. Like, mate, you can't wrap the ball up anymore. You can't fucking do anything, and there's just yellow cards and so many penalties every game. Like, I hope that doesn't. I'm glad it's not in international rugby yet, not in Super Rugby. But if that creeps into it, it's going to kill the fucking game. It's honestly, it's disgusting. Just let us fucking accidentally put a shot on your head. We're playing rugby. Like, you sign up to play it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a bit of risk involved. So I'm hoping that new tackle height law doesn't make it to the top level of the game.
Yeah, it's been a shock because a lot of Super Rugby players are back in clubland, and I don't know if you saw on the weekend, Jack Grant, scrum half from Waratahs, playing for East against Randwick, and put a massive shot. I think it was Dave Vale. Oh, Dave Vale's in It wasn't Dave Vale, but it was one of his club mates. An absolute shot in. I flipped it up and put it in, and it was literally on the chest. Put a massive rugby league-like shot on, and scrum halves all around the world would have been pumping, but it was a penalty. So. We're trying to get decent shots out of the game, which is crazy, but I see what they're trying to do, to alleviate that massive.
I know at World Rugby they've got a few legal things in terms of concussion, and that's what it is. It goes back to obviously that ETC stuff. You saw obviously Billy Guyton obviously passed away from it, former Blues halfback. But I get it. There's a duty of care, but where does the line get drawn where it becomes unbearable to watch?
Yeah, the line's below the nipple. That's where it is now. I bet.
You're fucking throwing your head into fucking 100-kilo men. What do you think? Like, I mean, it blows my mind, some of this shit. Even like all these, you play a contact sport, like, mate. If you take the risk that your brain's going to be mush. I mean, like
the ruck areas where your brain gets mushed when you're trying to get a turnover and some big olders just comes straight for you to clean you out. That's where you're doing all the damage.
Happened to one of the,
that's why I never hit rucks.
It happened to one of the blokes yesterday. Ash is about 35, hasn't fucking played he just plays one game a year, gets his caps to try and get 300 caps. Mate, he's having a beer after he's forgot he's fucking got a son at home. So, like, and that's the exact same thing. He just got crock rolled. It's like, come on. I think
early onset. Yeah.
But anyway, it's a contact sport. I mean, no one actually deliberately means to high tackle. So, like, let's wrap the ball up, eh?
Meanwhile, leagueies are actually doing massive high shots on the head, and they're going, "Oh, mate, it's nothing in it, mate. Nothing in it."
Can't wait for Suwali to fucking do the tackle out laws in union, mate. He would have got 10 weeks for what he did to Reece Walsh.
All right, my thought of the week was Fons touched on it earlier. We've just had the French rugby final. We've had Toulouse win the game, and they're also European champs, and somewhat the Blues are Southern Hemisphere champs because there's no one else that's going to beat the Japanese teams maybe, but they kind of count as Northern Hemisphere. But yeah, I'd love to see the Blues and Toulouse now doing a home and away. So they play one game in Toulouse, and then they play one game at the Blues, and then similar to soccer on aggregate, who is the world club champ. I know they want to come and bring in more games for actual World Cup like for clubs, but I think after the season, this is the perfect time for the Blues. Sold out Eden Park, and then you obviously Toulouse sell out every week, but it'll be just a big one for rugby fans to travel and go see some of these games and see some of these players up against each other, similar to soccer. So I think that's double down on what's already working, and this is what fans get hyped up is about finals footy, and this is finals footy.
It should be like the Champions League. I think I like the home and away idea, but I think it should be like the Champions League in football, where every year it's already in a city. So, like, for example, it's already in Sydney no matter who wins it when the comp starts. So,
like the French finals.
Yeah, so like one year in the Northern Hemisphere, it's in Twickenham, and then the next year it's in, because I know what you're saying about home and away, but aggregate's a bit like, that's a bit of a shit way to win, because imagine you lose the next game at home, but you've like pumped them the week before. I don't feel like that's, rugby players don't work like aggregate.
But the other hard thing too is where do you find the time to do it? It's like you finish the domestic comp, and now you're going straight into internationals. There's just no. I mean, I know League do Super League versus NRL, but that game's not till the next year, and by then your squads are different. So that's the only other hard thing.
Oh, put it in the supercomputer, Sione, and find us a fucking weekend, and we'll go to World Rugby and tell them when we're doing.
Yeah, so we just push all the rules back 2 weeks and we're done. I think I just saved that World Rugby $1 million. I'll bring that up. Yeah.
Damn, I thought we were going to have to sort that out around 4 a.m. around a round table, but I'm glad we got it done here.
Yeah. Save the microwave and the plate for another time. Anyways, guys, we'll finish off with the tips of the week. Internationals are back. We've got massive games, starting off with Wallaroos versus Fiji in the I believe they're playing in Sydney as well. So who are you picking? I'm going to put up mega multis for everyone's picks. Chuck $5, naughty $5, see if anyone's going to win to help sponsor our show. Anyways, Wallaroos versus Fiji. Who are you picking, Fonz?
Yeah, no, Wallaroos. They haven't played well, but yeah, I got them. I'd say 1 to 12.
Yeah. Outside?
Wallaroos. I think they're gonna. I think this is the revenge that they need from their start to the year.
1 to 12 or 13 plus?
13 plus.
13 plus. Yeah, I'll go Wallaroos 13 plus, and let's lock in Wallaroos 13 plus for the mega multi, and then All Blacks versus England. Fonz?
This is going to be hard, I reckon. Man, England are a good team. They are a good team coming down. I'm biased, so I'm going to just say All Blacks 1 to 12 again. So that's what it is.
Okay.
I can't wait. Can't wait for it.
And before Ironside makes his pick, just for people tuning in at home, Ironside's half Kiwi by blood. That's by blood and by birth. He's not even English. So who are you going for? Who do you think?
I think that the All Blacks are going to win 13 plus. I think they're going to absolutely smoke them in the first fucking game.
Oh, shit. I would have thought the same until I watched England versus Japan. England are way better squad than they were at the World Cup. Ben Earls, I think he is close to being the best number 8 in the world. Too bad he won't get the chance to face the actual best number 8 in the world who's at home watching. And if he's part English, Hoskins, I know he's part English or whatever, he might be cheering on the men in the white jumpers, not the black jumpers this weekend. So I might have made that up. But yeah, breaking news. I'm going to go All Blacks 1 to 12. Did you say the same?
Yeah, I said 1 to 12.
All Blacks 1 to 12.
Yeah.
1 to 12. Okay, we'll lock in 1 to 12 for this one. Answer I could do is side bet and 13 plus, but yeah, All Blacks 1 to 12. And probably the number 1 game for the weekend, Wallabies hosting Wales. Who are you going for, Fonz?
think the Wallabies, they should win. This would be a tight game though, another 1-12. I looked at that Wales team. I only know the only player I know is Liam Williams. That's the only player I know. I don't know anyone in that squad. Joe Smith, I hope he gets off to a good start and the Wallabies get off to a good start. I got them 1-12.
Yeah. Onside?
Wallabies 1-12. Purely because it's meant to be wet in Sydney all week, and I can't see it being a high-scoring game. But yeah, same thing. Looking forward to Schmidt starting his era. I don't want to jinx it because I'll get this replayed by our good friend Jacob Flynn, the Welshman. But I think that they are fucking. I watched them play that South African game. That Wales team looks horrific. So yeah, I'm going to Wallabies.
Yeah, bit of disrespect towards the Welsh, just like in the World Cup last year, and then they put 40 on us. Yeah, I'm going to go Wallabies 1-12. I think Schmidt's going to get us in there. I think it's going to be a higher part to 12, maybe close to 13 plus. But yeah, we'll lock in Wallabies 1-12. And the second game of the Japan versus Māori All Blacks. Who are you going for, Fons?
It depends who Japan chuck out there. I'm not too sure what team they got. I mean, going off that last performance, you'd have to say the Māori All Blacks again. 13 plus too. Yeah, they're just too strong in the end.
I just got a feeling that Eddie's not going to like that he's 0-2, and he's going to put out a pretty full strength side. I still think that
all the Islanders.
Yeah, we've just praised them for homegrown talent, and we're going to put out the Tongan Samoan Japanese 15, but I think still the Maori All Blacks will get it over the line, but 1-12, I think.
Yep. No, I think they'll win big. They did well with 13 and 14 players on the field when they had the cards. So yeah, I think I'm with Fons. Māori All Blacks 13 plus. And then, big one, probably the actual biggest game. Who's going to be Ward number 1? It's the Springboks versus the visiting Irish. Fons?
Yeah, that'd be a good game, isn't it? There's that Loftus too, I think. I have South Africa 1-12. I just think they're at home, and they know how they like to play with their big forwards. I wouldn't be surprised another 6-2 split coming. And I mean that Irish team's awesome, but I just think South Africa at home 1-12.
Yeah.
The Irish in that last World Cup pissed me the fuck off. Like their sense of entitlement. Then even now, they didn't win a fucking quarterfinal still, and they still talk about them being world number 1. I actually think that South Africa is going to flog them. I reckon South Africa 13 plus, and like. I hope they pump them. And it's funny because I don't really like South Africa either, but and if you asked me 2 years ago, I would have gone the Irish, but fuck, mate. Fuck, they just got this sense of entitlement. It pisses me off, so I hope they put 40 on the
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both these teams, and especially Rusty. I don't know if you guys seen, but Rusty's on Twitter. He named his own Irish 15s or 23. And he's trying to get in the head, and I think he's in their head. And look, I think Springboks were a bit scratchy against Wales. It took them until probably the second part of the second half to get kicking into action. And, mate, the Irish scare me. They didn't do too well in the clubs. They both bowed out in the semis. But yeah, there's something about the box you just can't. You can't not, especially with Rusty on the scene. So yeah, I'm going to go Springboks.
Not just Ireland though. How much of a build-up is Leinster as well? That's 3 years without any domestic title.
Yeah.
With all those international players in there. What a G-up.
It's because they're playing the French, mate. Oh, and then URC, they're playing bloody Glasgow.
Yeah, Glasgow. Scotland. Which is another South Africa. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then the last game, we've got France versus Argentina.
Depends who's playing for France. I mean, they might leave some of their top players at home. If this may have a final, I still have France winning, but I don't know what teams are going to get rolled out. I have them 13 plus.
I actually thought the Argies were pretty unlucky in the World Cup. Same thing. It's hard without knowing the teams, but I actually think the Argies. It's so early in the international season. that's usually when the RGs sneak a win. I'm going to go RGs 1-12. That's my smoky for the week.
Actually, I'll go with onside. It's just something about the RGs, and I'm talking about the 7s team, but I think it's going to transfer into their 15s. I don't know who's playing for the RGs. I don't even know who's coaching the RGs. It's just something about the boys are just off finals. The French are just off finals. And yeah, I think RGs will sneak this win. And yeah, it'll kick the French back into action because they weren't really great during the Six Nations. And I think half of them are going to be hungover this game. So yeah, I'm going to lock in RGs. This is our smoky pick for the week. RGs.
It's going to be interesting to see who's playing this weekend in all the test matches.
Yeah. Because I think the French boys are still drinking. I've seen some of the stuff still on the piss now.
Bet void. Well, DuPont won't play, so
yeah.
Anyway,
DuPont's going to be at the Olympics, so I don't think he'll play for France.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get into Olympics next week, as well as the test from this coming weekend. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Boys, thanks for calling in. We're back after a little bit of a hiccup with my podcast gig on holidays, but we're back. And make sure you like, subscribe. We'll be back next week, and yeah, thank you, boys and girls. Yeah, we still got to figure out how to end the pod, but yeah. Later, boys. Yeah, okay. See you, mate.